Hmm. All right. What's going on, party people? A little late in the evening here, probably about 11 something at night. Wow. Mm-mm-mm. Shadowing, mock signings. I had a there was a really good comment today. Gentleman was expressing his thoughts on it, and I hadn't thought of it the way he did. That he expressed because I look at mock and shadowing a little different. I don't look at them as the same. Not that he was calling them the same, but I believe there's a difference between the two, and I'm gonna explain that here. But also on my community tab, I put a post up, a poll up, basically asking, do you feel that if you would have taken going on a shadowing with somebody that it would have helped you out? Last I saw, like 73% said yes, 74%. 14% was saying no, or something to that effect. I think there's no 83% to 14%, something like that. So, so here's my thoughts. And again, thanks for hitting the like button, sharing, subscribing. I do want to hear your comments on this. Just let me know. And again, for all you signing company owners as well as title people, I don't do shadowing anymore, from the stand because people have been getting land based behind it and getting been told and been getting darn near cussed out behind it. It's been over 3 years since I've done any shadow, having anybody shadow me. But if I do have a witness closing where I'm in a closing that require witnesses, I always reach out to a notary. Always try to get get a notary first, and then if not, then I have my wife or my sons, one of my sons, do it. But I'm always able to get a notary to come with me, um, because somebody was asking me, not in the comments, but asking me, do I feel like I'm gonna get in trouble about this subject? Look, if I was, if I'm not already in trouble with some of these folk, I don't think this is going to put me over the top. I'm just expressing myself and talking because I'm a business owner and I'm looking at 3, 4 years down the line. How do we make things better than what it is now? For the last 5 years, the same complaint has been here that notaries can't do closings properly. They're not able to do closing properly. Notaries constantly saying they're scared. You got people that have been out here. If you know of anybody that has been in the business, say 2 years, up to 2 years, 1 or 2 years, and hasn't done anything because they're paralyzed with fear, they're paralyzed with overthinking, put a two in the chat. Okay, just drop a two in the chat. Doesn't mean that it's you. You could know somebody. Okay, you might know you, but nonetheless, please do that for me. So there's a difference between mock and shadowing. And the gentleman gave a real good comment. I mean, seriously, to me, it was good. Where he said, shadowing, to shadow somebody, you end up mimicking them. Like the way he put it, and I'm sort of I'm paraphrasing. Basically, if you shadow, you lose your creativity, and you end up learning how to do it the way they did it. And that's true if you never took any training. If you never took any training whatsoever, no kind of really good quality training at all, yes, that is a true statement. But in my video that I did about this, from the last night, I said shadowing helps you to see whether or not what you learned in class will work out here in the real world. And there is, in my opinion, a big difference between mock and shadow. A mock signing, mock anything, is really in a controlled environment where everything is laid out as the perfect scenario in most cases. It's not necessarily that, especially when it comes to notary stuff, like when you're doing a mock signing with your husband or your wife, that you're going to have a situation where the signer starts spazzing out and doing things wrong and signing wrong. You're not going to have that. It's going to be a controlled environment so you can get through this in what you deem as the perfect way. And the perfect way is based off of what you've been trained. So to me, a mock signing tends to force you or put you into the path of doing it a particular way, the way that somebody told you to do it if you took training. And if you didn't take training, you really wouldn't be trying to do a mock signing because you have no idea what to do. So with a mock signing, I think it's more rigid, structured, controlled environment. With you shadowing, you don't know what you're going into. You go and shadow somebody at a closing, you have no idea. It is wide open. Anything can happen. And what you will learn in that is how a person handled that situation. That's the key thing. See, in a mock signing, there's no, oh, let me simulate calling the title company and the title company not answering. But in a shadowing, that might happen. And that happened with me when there was a young man. He was with me. We met up and he sat at the end of the table and he just observed. And he had a really good experience because the gentleman found an error in the closing numbers. And he was like, y'all can leave because I ain't signing. And I was like, I really can't. Supposed to just leave, you know. I said, well, sir, the best I can do is sit in the car and I need to call somebody. I said, give me a few moments to try to contact somebody. And I'm calling, texting, doing everything I can based off of the contact information and the instructions. And guess what? Nobody was picking up. Nobody was picking up the phone. And then we finally got a response. They worked it all out. And then it was like, okay, cool. The gentleman who came and observed, he saw from start to finish how I handled it, how I didn't let the gentleman get under my skin because he was getting upset and irritated, how I stayed professional, all of that. He was able to see, in essence, the worst case scenario at that time. And that helped him. He never called me back for another, hey, let me mock sign with you. Shadow you again. No, he just like, yo, I got it now. He said, now I see what I need to do. Now, and see, with shadowing, it's not about you learning to do it the way that person did it. It's you learning how to handle yourself in a real world situation. And you're actually watching and seeing, see, my personality, I wouldn't do it that way. And with shadowing, you actually get to see that, well, maybe that person is not that creative. And I can help them by showing them a better way. Or I'm not that creative, but by me watching that person, oh, I see a better way. How do you get that in a mock signing? Now, I think the two work together. You do a mock signing, and then you go and shadow somebody, and you see whether or not your controlled environment practice actually works in the game. That's the key. And you have to be able to adjust. In a mock signing, there's no adjustment. It is what it is. Here's this paper, here's that paper, sign, date, stamp. Here's this, here's that, sign, date, stamp. Everything is controlled. There's no variables. You don't have the thing of kids running around acting up, this, that, and the other. You don't have the dirty home. I'm just being real. You don't have the unkept home, I should say. You don't have the scenario where you're waiting for the spouse to come because they're still at work and you're dealing with that person. You don't have any of that, but in a real scenario, you can. When you're watching and shadowing somebody, you can see them go through some stuff, and it's like, oh. And then you can come up with your own conclusion. Okay, well, this is how I would have handled it. Because everybody's personality is different. So shadowing versus mock signing is two different things. I believe they can work hand in hand together, but it is truly two different things. So y'all give me your thoughts in the comment section about mock signing versus shadowing. I feel they're different. I think mock has a way of preparing you as well as shadowing. All right. So I just want to drop that on y'all. Give me your thoughts. Talk to y'all later. Peace.